guys, before you file for your spouse,
Hey guys, come on in, type in freedom now, freedom now. It's great to be with you today. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law, where we believe in immigration freedom. I hope you guys had a terrific weekend. Join today's chat, say hello, and certainly let me know where you're joining from today. On Saturday, friends, I was with you, right? We were together on Saturday for a workshop session that I did about immigration solutions, not fear. If you have not yet seen that live session, you're going to want to go back and watch it, because in it I covered several questions that you really need to ask yourself as you're trying to figure out what your next steps are going to be if you're losing lawful status. And for millions of people, they're losing lawful status. They might have already lost their status through the various Biden parole programs, but others are slated this summer to lose their status. TPS is ending for a number of countries. And so on Saturday, I was live with you talking about solutions and what you should be working on and thinking about instead of the fear. Work with someone you like, know, and trust who is professional and understand the options that I've discussed with you on Saturday, so that you will be in a good position to transition to a longer term lawful status. Friends, come on in. Hello there. Hey there, Natalie, Nastia. My apologies there. Samuel, good to see you. Hey there, Samuel. Hi, Tyrone. Thank you for being here. And if you're joining from Facebook, certainly share this live session with your feed. There's a lot going on, friends, with immigration. As you guys know, there's still quite a bit of civil unrest around the country. People are frustrated. People are angry about what they're seeing. And, ICE is still making those arrests on the street and in various places, and certainly at USCIS field offices across the country. But just know that the cases that you're hearing about at USCIS are cases that are very fact specific, okay? These are individuals who either have a removal order already, or they have a criminal history that the government is very concerned about, or there's some fraud, like marriage fraud, on their record. USCIS now, that as we are seeing through the tweets and everything like that on X, USCIS is very much front and center with setting up those ICE arrests at their office. So certainly take heed and make sure that you understand what you've submitted to USCIS before you go in for an interview, and understand what the interview will be about, and work with a professional on preparing you for your interview. And if you could find an attorney who will go with you at such a late notice, certainly hire that person to see if they could assist you at your interview. I have several videos coming up for you guys that will help you. I spent the weekend at the office preparing materials that I think you're really going to need in the days ahead, including interview, what your rights are when you go into USCIS field offices for an interview. Okay, that video is coming up very soon for you guys. Today at 5 o'clock, we're going to premiere a video about naturalization, and how some folks can lose their citizenship automatically by naturalization fraud, which is a criminal issue, and it's 10 years in prison, 25 years for some other people who are affiliated with a terrorism offense, or a drug trafficking offense is also on their record. They are facing 25 years if there is a naturalization fraud on the criminal side that is thrown in. So in today's video, guys, which you should set your clock for, at 5 o'clock, it's going to premiere, and one of my colleagues will be in the chat with you on the live chat. In that video, you will hear me say that this is how naturalization fraud works and how the government investigates it and convict individuals of this in US. And the government today is looking for more of these types of cases. So if you had lied on your naturalization application, N-400 application, by stating that you've never committed a crime for which you were never arrested for. If you say no to that, I've never committed a crime for which I was never arrested for, and then you become a citizen and then you're later arrested for those crimes or that crime, well, they could also get you for naturalization fraud and automatically revoke your citizenship. So watch today's video. It's a very important one. So I don't really have, we're so busy here. We didn't have time to really put together news summaries. So I'm just going to dive right in to your questions. All right. So come on in, say hello and say freedom now. Thank you so much for being here with me. Let's see, let's go up a little bit. Thank you, guys. Someone says, I have supervision status, a deportation order since 1997, final order, and released to supervision in 2005. I've been here since then, been here for 20 years. So this individual has a removal order, but was on, or I don't know if you're still checking in with ICE, but you were under ICE's process of staying in touch with them so that they could keep tabs on you, and you check in with them maybe annually, I don't know, and it's been 20 years you've been here in the country. So individuals who have been checking in with ICE, many of them are vulnerable these days to being detained by ICE and then sent back. Now, for some people, it's very difficult for them to deport them for various reasons, like maybe your country is saying, we don't know you, we don't want him or you back here, we're not going to issue a passport or a travel document for this individual, and so therefore they get the opportunity to stay here in a longer term status. However, just keep in mind that this administration is aggressively pushing and fighting in court to have the ability to send foreigners who they are having a hard time deporting. They're trying to send them to other countries that will accept them. So that's really the big push, although that's tied up in court currently. All right, let's see. Someone says, Maria says that I checked the wait-in to receive my work permit. It's 9 months from today. I haven't received my work permit. Should I start a mandamus process to speed this up for my work permit? So what type of case do you have? You filed for your work permit. Did you file 9 months ago? Because obviously that is a very long time to be waiting. I'm just really curious which category. The reason I say that is because I know that for some countries, like for TPS country like Haiti, folks did not receive another work permit upon renewal. I'm not sure what could be going on there with your work permit, but to file a mandamus just for that, I would say no to. We do it. I'll just share with you how we do it. Other lawyers, you might find someone who will do that for you. We won't do it. But what we look for, we will do it if it's your green card application or an I-130 that's been held up, or the visa that's being held up by the State Department for some reason. In those types of cases, or a naturalization, long pending naturalization case, we do it for the bigger case, not for a work permit. Someone says, you told me to call you, but no one answered. I guess you're busy. So the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. Yes, they're busy, but the phone lines are open Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And you could also leave a message or email us so that someone from our team, Amy, can call you back and schedule an appointment with you. I'm sorry that you weren't able to reach us or we didn't answer the call. I'm sorry about that, but give it another try. Our email address is also here on the screen. It's info@mcbeanlaw.com. So just send us your information and we'll call you back or write you back to schedule a consultation for you. I'm not sure about this one. Let's see, let's go down a little bit. Let's go down. Thank you. Guys, thank you for being here. I'm a permanent resident and I'm in my 48-month extension period. Is it okay for me to travel? So this is someone who has the 2-year green card or had the 2-year green card, and then it expired and they're in this period now, 48-month, I think that's what, yeah, 48-month extension, Leonie. So I've been telling people I think it's fine for you to travel on your conditional resident status on this extension, so long as you're not in removal, so long as you do not have a criminal record, and so long as you're not intending to stay outside of the United States for a very long time. Let's see. Guys, tell me which city and state or country you're joining from today. I'm always curious to know where our subscribers are based. So just go ahead and put that in the chat. If you're sending me also, if you're sending a question here that includes some language that you've seen in some app that you're using to track your case, I won't be able to comment on the messages that you're seeing in the app that you're using to track your immigration case. All right. My wife came through the CHNV program. Can she use her receipt for her receipt of her employment authorization card under the green card application to keep her job? So Samuel, it's what's happening here is that Samuel's wife is going through, it sounds like, the adjustment of status process. She entered through the CHNV parole program, and she has received a work permit receipt showing that her work permit new application connected to her I-485 adjustment of status case is pending. And so it just depends on the employer. Of course, she could use that to show her employer that she is transitioning to a different work permit, and they could take a look at the receipt notice. She should submit that to her employer to show that she's on track. And once she gets her approval of her new EAD, of course, she could update her HR records at work. Also, keep in mind too that in our system, with our system, guys, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and you're going through the green card process through your spouse, the government looks the other way with respect to unauthorized employment, but they expect you to be truthful to them on your application that you have been working and where you've been working. Okay, but I think your wife will be fine. Freedom Now. Freedom Now. Is misrepresentation a crime? Tony is asking. So, Tony, the way that I view it, it really certainly depends on the context. Of course, an argument can be made that if you break any of the immigration, immigration, for the most part, it's a civil penalty civil system, so to speak. But there are some criminal aspects to immigration as well. There are criminal penalties associated with certain types of acts and behavior. But for misrepresentation, usually that's handled on the civil side with immigration, unless it's an issue similar to what I've discussed in today's YouTube video that's coming out at 5 o'clock today Eastern time about lying or misrepresenting on a naturalization application about whether you've ever committed any crime for which you were not arrested for, how that's actually a naturalization fraud, which is a crime. It's a federal crime. And again, 10 years in prison for that. So, so that's how it works. Most people who are charged, so to speak, by immigration for fraud or misrepresentation, it happens on the civil side of things, so they will not have any jail time or anything crazy like that. But if it's connected to certain other kinds of misrepresentation, it could very well be a criminal issue under the federal code. Okay. My friend has a disorderly conduct, but it got expunged. Can she file for citizenship? It sounds like it wasn't anything very serious, Natalie, and it sounds like your friend can apply for citizenship, but I think your friend should speak with someone about her record to make sure that she meets the rest of the requirements for citizenship, like the moral character side of things, and her length of stay, her time here in the United States, that she meets all of those other requirements before she applies for naturalization. And then also too, even with the disorderly conduct, immigration, just so you know, many times people start out with serious charges that are like about crazy things, right? Serious things. And then through the process of plea negotiation, it becomes something like disorderly conduct or whatever, something far less serious. And they think, okay, that's no biggie. That's not a big deal. However, now the government, when you're doing naturalization, they want to see the record and they want to know what happened, what were the facts. This government in particular is drilling down on those types of issues. So if they see a charge that they don't even like and it's just a charge, that's not what you were convicted of, there's a big difference, they could still make a big deal about it. So that's why I'm recommending that your friend speak with a lawyer before she applies for naturalization so that the lawyer can tell her, fully what to expect from immigration. Okay. What is the latest on the U visa process? There is nothing that I have at this time to share about the U visa process. Okay, someone says my marriage is 5 years old and I've already applied for the I-751, the removal of conditions petition. Can I file for citizenship? Because I tried to do it online, but it said to do so late next year. So what here's what you should be thinking about. With the removal of conditions process and naturalization, you'll become eligible for applying for early naturalization once you've hit 2.9 years of being a resident. That's the key here. It's not how long per se you've been married, it's how long you have been a resident. Okay. It's good to see you guys. Are you putting in? I can't see it quite yet in the chat where you're watching from today. All right. And if you have any good news about your case or your family member's case or someone who you know, just share the good news about an approval. It could even be a work permit approval. Let's just liven up the chat here with some positive energy, and let us know how long the case was pending for. If any new citizens out there, let us know that you're a new citizen, and how long your naturalization process took. Someone said, and this is what prompted me to say this, because Janet says that I'm so excited my family petitions were approved and they are now at the NVC, the Visa Center. My question is regarding the affidavit of support. What should I do? Should I clear off my taxes owed to the IRS before submitting my affidavit of support? So now, try to get on with, just generally speaking, folks need to be on a payment plan with the IRS if they owe back taxes, okay? So now you're the petitioner in this case, and you have to submit an IA-64 petition, petition, affidavit to the government to prove that you are financially able to support your family members who are coming in. So the key there is on your income from last year and this current income that the government, well, the last 3 years income, of course, and your current income. Those are the details and information that the government will be drilling down on at the affidavit of support level, not necessarily how much back taxes you owe, but it's still a good idea to, try to clear up your taxes if you're able to, or get on a payment plan with the IRS. But don't let that slow you down with bringing your family in. Let's see, let's go down. Thank you. By the way, my colleague who is moderating today's chat is reminding you guys that at 5 o'clock today, we have a new video coming out on naturalization fraud. And he's already selected the title. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Maybe part of it will work. We'll see. We were going back and forth about the title, but it's naturalization fraud, how it could lead to automatic revocation of your citizenship. So that's 5 o'clock today on McBean Immigration TV on YouTube. All right, let's get some approvals. Do we have any approvals that we're seeing? Are folks putting out, sharing in the comments their approvals? Because I'd love to check some of those out. If you've been approved of anything or your family member, just share the good news here to encourage others. Someone says, how long do young adults have to wait for an interview in their country? The priority date, November, I guess 2019, maybe, will be 6 years. Thank you. So Angie, it truly depends on which category that young adult is sitting in. Is it an F1 category? Is it an F2B category? Is it an F3 category if the young adult is married? And who filed for that person. And certainly it depends on which country they're in as well. So check the visa bulletin for July. I believe that's already out to let you know how long it might take for that young adult. Christiana is asking, what is the final solution for 10-year green card holders regarding traveling internationally? They don't need a solution. There's nothing to discuss beyond the many videos I've already put out there about international travel for green card holders. They're fine traveling. Okay, let's see. Someone says that I'm under Haitian TPS. I've been on TPS since 2010. I have no citizen relatives. How can I adjust my status? I entered with a B1, B2 visa. So adjusting your status will require an immediate relative family scenario. You mentioned you have no U.S. citizen relatives, so that immediate relative process won't work. If I don't know if asylum could potentially work for you. You've been here for so many years. I highly doubt that it's going to work. I think there might be a very, very low chance of success with something like asylum. Have you been a victim of a crime here? U visa, maybe. If you've been a victim of a certain crime here in the United States, or you've had jobs here, although you've been here for a very long time in lawful status, so most likely you had good, decent jobs along the way. But if you did have a job where you went through some very, very difficult experiences there, and threats and intimidation and other things like that, or labor violations, you could speak with an attorney about maybe potentially a T visa. But for the most part, it has to be through, for the most part, an immediate relative filing is really what can help you to adjust your status. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Let's go down here. Oops. Is it safe for my husband with his green card to travel? He has a clean record. Most likely, yes, he could travel. He will be fine, most likely, if he has a clean record, like you said. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Thank you guys for being with me today. We're going through some of your immigration questions to discuss some solutions for you today. Many people are transitioning from a lawful status to maybe nothing, and so it's very important for them to get some information about how our system works and what could potentially be possible for them. My naturalization interview was canceled 5 days before the date. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I haven't heard anything since then. Do I know why it was canceled and when it will be rescheduled? I don't know why it was canceled. It could have just been a local docket issue. I don't know why it was canceled, but they should be able to reschedule it for you very soon. I have withholding of removal with a pending I-130 from my mom. What are the chances that I will be detained? Caesar is asking. It's probably very slim, Caesar, probably very, very slim. You know, you are in status with this, so you know, you're protected with this withholding of removal. So you're not really the type of person that they are really going after, although now we see that their strategy is there is no strategy, right? There's no more strategy. They started out with a strategy of narrowing their focus, and now they have 3,000 arrests per day quota to meet. So now they're just like scrambling, and they're all over the place, picking up random people. There is no strategy, but you have withholding of removal. So if you do, if you're picked up, they'll check your A number and see that, and most likely you should be released, because unless they find that there's a reason to keep you, like a criminal record, then they will want to detain you for a long period of time. We do not have free consultations or free assessments. We are unable to do anything for free aside from the work that I do, like right now, like what I'm doing now. And then we also have free resources. We're going to put it on, we'll just add it to the chat, McBeanlaw.com/free. If you go to McBeanlaw.com/free, then you will see some free resources that we have for you. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit here. I know I see a super chat, but there's no question attached to it. Thank you for that, Akash. Let's see. I was arrested for driving without proper documents for the vehicle that I was in, and I served 3 days of community service. I have a green card, got green card 20 years after the arrest. Is it safe for me to travel 20 years after being arrested for driving without proper documents? I think that you might be fine with your travel. 20 years. It's a long time ago. Can I apply for a work permit when my case is on appeal at BIA? I would want to know, Mohammed, what type of cases actually, what's on appeal there? Because normally for many people, it would be a no, but what type of cases on appeal do you have on appeal? Tennessee, New York, Florida, Tampa, great. Guyana is here as well, great. Okay, let's go down. Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so in the super chat, the question says in 2024, I did N400 the second time. My first time, that case was denied. I received a request for evidence related to good moral character. I submitted the request for evidence, and it's been 7 months since I've done so. I haven't received any updates yet. Is international travel safe? I would want to know, Akash, what were the issues that the government drilled down on? In your first denial, what led to the first denial? And then the second time, what were the issues that they were raising about good moral character? I'd also want to know whether you have a criminal record, and if so, what's on the record and how were things resolved? You're a green card holder, so traveling is fine for most green card holders, as I've been saying, unless there's a criminal issue. And if there is a criminal issue, I would say don't travel. If there is no criminal issue, and maybe you're talking about good moral character issues related to things like, I don't know, taxes or child support payments. I don't know if they've cited you for false testimony during an interview or misrepresentation, or maybe anything related to, we don't think that you got your green card. We gave you the green card correctly. Like, those are very serious issues to be concerned about. Of course, if it was, if your case is about any of those particular issues, you could speak one-on-one with an attorney before traveling internationally if you do have one of those serious record issues on your record, particularly if it's a criminal record. Otherwise, you would be fine with your international travel. But it's all at your own risk, because the response I'm giving certainly is just based on the limited information that you've shared here today. Oh, Monroe. Okay, Monroe, Michigan. I know where that is. Thank you for being here, Steve, from Monroe, Michigan. I have a brother-in-law who lives in Monroe, Michigan. He's usually live with us too. I don't think he's on today. Hey there, Lynette. Should I get a lawyer to file the I-751 removal of conditions case? We're still married, there aren't any changes, or is it safe to send it in myself? So Brenda, I think the removal of conditions process is a bit tricky. I would say work with an attorney on that process, even if it's a joint filing. Freedom Now. Freedom Now, I've answered that already, Tony. Let's go down a little bit. Were there any testimonials, any approvals? You guys haven't gotten any approvals on your cases? If you have gotten an approval on something like a work permit or a green card application, naturalization, any new citizens, let us know. Let us know, please. Can I go to Jamaica to stay with my daughter for 4 months? Nadine is asking. So Nadine, what status do you have currently? Are you a green card holder? If so, yes. If you're a U.S. citizen, obviously, yes. I'm in removal proceedings. Is it safe for me to do interstate travel by air within the United States? So this person is in removal and he or she wants to be able to travel around by airplane. Some attorneys would say no to that. You're already in removal, so I don't see what the big issue is or threat there for with risk level there for you to travel around the United States domestically. You're going through your process in removal already, so I don't see any big issue with that. Now, if you have you know TSA, just so you know, TSA is they operate differently, but I've seen some videos by some attorneys saying, this is what happened at TSA with this client or this. We haven't had any of those types of experiences. We haven't seen anything like that yet with regard to TSA. Certainly, we're seeing a huge uptick in people being arrested at USCIS's office, people being arrested at ICE check-ins. Yes, we're seeing a big uptick with detainees, their family members contacting us. Yes, we're seeing a big uptick with needing to do motion to reopen removal cases. Those are the things that we're seeing a lot of. My wife's adjustment of status got a verbal approval at the interview on May 30th. However, we have not received any updates online. We haven't gotten anything in the mail since then, which seems to be outside the ordinary. What can we do? So I think you're still in good shape, honestly. I mean, you're almost a month from that interview. I would just give it a little bit more time. Something might have, come up. Something came up during the interview potentially that is causing them to just do a little bit more homework on your wife's adjustment of status case. I would just give it a little bit more time before really worrying. And just also, you should know that, although the officer might have said to you, yes, I'm going to approve this case, it's still a supervisor might have looked at it and said, wait a minute, did you look into this other thing or did you see that on the record? Take a look at this other thing. And when that happens, certainly it can lead to a delay in getting your approval. Edith says, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Okay. Let's see. Apply for C8. I misplaced my 10-year green card. Okay. See, nothing. I was just checking to see if anything urgent popped up here on my Teams. Oh, I'm changing my status to B1, B2. Medical, can I remain in the United States while it's pending, and what is the process? I think that you should get a consultation, whether it's with us or another attorney, to talk about this change of status, because we're going to need to find out some details about your current, your visa, how long you had gotten to stay in the United States by customs, and some other details before we could advise you how to go about this process. But usually the change of status is by filing that form, the I-539, and making sure that you file before you go out of status, very critical. And you have to send supporting documents showing proof of what your reason is for staying here. If it's a medical issue, and that does happen, people come to the U.S. as visitors and then something goes wrong and they have to stay longer to either be evaluated by a doctor or take care of a loved one who is sick or something like that. Things can come up, then they could change extend their stay in the United States. But when you're talking about changing your status now, that's a that's different. We would have to see what visa type you have now and what you're trying to go into. And how it would work, whether you're gonna, for some people, they absolutely have to leave the United States with that process. But we're gonna need to obviously get more details from you one-on-one. Okay. If someone is married to a U.S. citizen and he passed away, in what way can you get help? And is asking, there is a process that allows widows and widowers to be able to apply for a green card on their own due to the death of, based on the death of their U.S. citizen spouse. You can contact us to see if you're still within the time period to be able to do such a process. And if your spouse started a process for you and died, the case can be converted over as well to that type of filing, widower filing. Let's go down a little bit. Thank you guys for being here today. On Saturday, I know I answered a lot of questions as well. So today we're gonna wrap up momentarily. What's this? We're getting a lot of questions, it seems, on the I-751. Maybe those are spam, I don't know. I applied for VAWA. When will I hear from the USCIS? So VAWA takes 3 years. Okay. Let's see, if I get married after having a pending VAWA, do you recommend working with an attorney if you get married after having a yeah, I do. I think that you would need an attorney to advise you carefully. If filing for VAWA, do you recommend filing together the forms I-485 and I-765? Yes, you can do that if your abuser spouse is a U.S. citizen. Yes, you can do that. Massachusetts is here. Great to see you. Fernanda, UK, thank you. San Diego's in the house. Okay, so someone says that I married my U.S. citizen spouse a year ago. I'm preparing my paperwork for a green card. Money has been tight and could not do so before now. Should I be concerned about my status before filing? Should I be concerned about my status before? So sounds like you obviously you went out of status. I don't know how long you've been here in the United States, Fran, or how you came to the U.S. Those details matter to immigration, as you know, as you're working on the paperwork. It just depends on what type of process you're seeking. Is it through, is it adjustment of status? Is it you didn't mention here whether it's a U.S. citizen or a green card holder spouse, but if it's a U.S. citizen spouse, the government will not penalize you for being out of status at the time that you've applied for the green card. If it's a green card holder spouse, on the other hand, your case is going to take a little bit longer to process, of course, to wait for a visa to become available for you. And then the question is whether your spouse can eventually become a U.S. citizen or not so that you could adjust your status, or whether you'll need a waiver to take your process back home to your home embassy. Thank you. Let's go down. All right. Hey there, Marisa. Thank you for being here. Are they going to renew TPS for Honduras? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't it's, here's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing them ending. That's what I've been seeing, the ending. I don't think I've seen under this administration yet any renewal of TPS. I think they really don't like TPS guys. They emphasize that TPS is temporary. So I don't expect it to continue. I hope it does, but I'm not expecting it to. Do I think people who got SIDGE, will they be deported if they have an I-360 approved, but USCIS has stopped giving deferred action? So with the SIDGE now, I know I think I might have seen a video that someone posted, but again, this is just random stuff that people do post here and there on TikTok about their experience, but they did remove the deferred action part of things with regard to SIDGE, which was so unnecessary and cruel. And then it also takes away the work permit ability that folks have who are waiting on their 360 case and waiting on a priority date to come up to be able to adjust their status and get a work permit. It's yet to be seen whether they're going to target SIDGE folks for deportation. I hope that they don't. Some people who are going through SIDGE had already gone through a court process, and the judge made the decision to dismiss their case because they have SIDGE pending at USCIS. That's what a lot of immigration judges would normally do. So these kids are not in removal any longer. But yes, they are vulnerable. I still think they are vulnerable under this administration that has been showing quite a disregard and disregard for due process, as well as a lack of empathy as well. Are there time restrictions for visitor visa holders? Yeah, they will be given a length of stay, how long they could stay in the United States for their visit. Most people are given 6 months stay in the United States. Some people, they might even be given less than that. You've got to know really, really critical that you know how much time you're given if you're traveling here on a visitor visa. Let's go down. I'm not sure about the extension of TPS for Nicaragua. Can you assist with U visa case? Yes, we do U visa cases. Green card holders who want to stay outside of the United States for whatever the reason is, if they would like to stay outside longer than 6 months, they could apply for the reentry permit before leaving the United States. I don't have a real ID. Can I use my passport to travel? Yes, your foreign passport can be used so long as it's valid. TSA has a list of documents that folks can use to travel around the United States. Yes, we can help with the T6. This is a good story. Here, someone says that I got approved for my T visa in 2024. Can you help me file the T6? Yes, and we also have a T6 testimonial on our website to approval at McBeanlaw.com/success. You could read that story. I think it was from it was last year, I believe. See, let's go up. Friends, also, you can go to McBeanlaw.com. We'll just type it in the website, McBeanlaw.com / I think it's services, to see all of the different types of services that we have. We work on so many different types of cases. Read our success stories at mcbeanlaw.com/success. Contact us for a consultation if you'd like to go deeper. We also have a new case evaluation process. It's only $150 with a non-attorney to go through an intake with one of our professionals and determine whether you might have a case or not. If complex issues come up during that meeting, then you will need to have an attorney meet with you to go further before we could start a contract with you. So that process is here, and we're already getting people booking. So that's very exciting. I saw earlier today someone on my team shared with me that a few people have booked case evaluation meetings. So make that happen. You're the one that's going to do the booking on your own, and you'll see the dates available on our calendar, on the Acuity calendar. And maybe we can put that URL. It's mcbeanlaw.com/case-evaluations. So go on our website, you'll see that information and handle your booking for your case evaluation. Friends, I'm going to jump off now. Thanks so much for being with me. It was a pleasure answering your questions. I hope this was helpful for you. And I will be live on social media this week. So follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.